Good evening, and welcome everyone to this lovely episode of The Experience Today. I am your host, Mr. Roderick Threets, and I am here with my trusty, bestest friend in the world, Miss Valerie Zinn. What's going on, girl? How you doing? What's going on down there?
Oh, it's too goddamn hot. That's what's going on down here. It's just hot. Yesterday we lost power. Two transmitters were hit in our neighborhood, and 33 houses were out of power. So everybody was not happy here for like 8 hours, I think it was, or six. Yeah, it was about 6 to 8 hours. So, at least we're all connected. If there's one good thing about it, one woman realized her generator wasn't working. Somebody else was offering someone their portable generator. So it was kind of nice to be on that thread of people caring about each other. So that's the good part sometimes of something bad happening. I've seen that throughout my lifetime, especially with hurricanes. And it's good to be connected to everyone before hurricanes.
Right.
Yeah. Um, you know, I was listening to, oh my God, there was just so much to hear today, and every day, really. And I couldn't help but see how scared some of the Democrats are. I mean, like, really scared, as they should be. And I kept hearing that old Diana Ross song in my head, "Upside Down, You Turn Me," and I couldn't help but thinking about how Donald Trump is actually driving everyone crazy. Now he's driving us crazy because he has to drive them crazy. You have to understand that philosophy to start with, or you will go crazy. I mean, that's the bottom line. He's doing this all for the purposes of confusing everybody. And he's doing a very good job of it. And I was also aligning my thought process today to when I was 16 years old, I got on the Cyclone at Coney Island. And I don't know if anybody in our audience has ever been there. It's in New York. And I remember the guy coming over to me and saying, "You have to give me your eyeglasses." And I said, "No, I need to be able to see." No. He said, "No, you have to give me your eyeglasses." So I reluctantly gave them to him, and they strap you in with like 5 different belts. You feel like you're entering some sort of a weird prison. And then this roller coaster takes off really slow, and you literally start going straight up to the sky. And everybody's heart, you could just feel it. Like your heartbeat is just going, "Oh no, I'm going to fall backwards off this thing. Something's wrong." And then when you get to the top, the very top of this, feels like a mountain in the Himalayas, this damn roller coaster drops straight down the opposite direction. And for the next 20 for the next 20 minutes on this thing, everybody is screaming at the top of their lungs. I mean, I never went back. No seconds on this one. It was one of the scariest rides I've ever been on. I don't know how this thing didn't crash. It twisted, it turned, it dropped straight down, it went straight up. It really, so I'm thinking today about that, and this song pops into my head, "Upside Down," and it all just fell into place with everything that's going on around the world. And that's what people need to see as well. This is not just here. I don't even think we've seen the worst of it yet. I think we're kind of heading into the middle, and the storm is going to get worse. It's going to be like living in a maybe a 2-month hurricane, which would be kind of difficult. But that's just my opinion. I don't know anything for sure. I'm not a mind reader.
Right.
But, you know, it's almost as if we are in the takedown of something you taught me at the very beginning when we started doing the show. You said something about the Luciferian agenda. And I was like, what is that? And of course, I researched it because that's what I do when I don't understand something. And we really are in the middle of the Luciferian agenda right now. It's so visible. It's so, oh my God. And you know, I think where the best place to be in this enlightened space that I assume most of us are in is to be willing to give up everything to bring truth and justice and Superman, truth, justice, and the American way,
Right.
to really get everything back to a godly, moral, free country like we're supposed to be. We have to go through the cyclone. We have to go through the scary, maybe screaming, maybe being frickin' depressed. Wherever it takes us, we are about to go through an endurance test. I think the likes of might be similar to the American Revolution and the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution. We're in it. So acceptance of this space and trusting and having faith that we're doing this for a godly reason. We're doing this for truth. We're doing this to take down this satanic, over the top, straight down to where they belong so that we can rise back up and have our country back.
Right.
Yeah. So I think one of the things that I both read and saw on, I guess, Bannon's show this afternoon is the takedown of the CCP. Hundreds charged in $6.5 billion healthcare fraud crackdown. DOJ. This is what we have known for so long, but we couldn't get anybody to take it there. And having as many new people as we have, we don't have enough yet. I mean, we got to get rid of the judges. We still have a shitload of work to do. This is not by any means done. But the fact that 450 defendants were charged in a record-setting crackdown on Medicaid and hospice fraud in almost all of our states. I think they said it was 46 states. It's kind of like that means everywhere. And 89 million healthcare fraud. I'm just reading off of something I printed out today. There was this one, oh, okay, she's a nurse practitioner. How much money do you think a nurse practitioner makes in a year? Just off the top of our heads. I don't know, maybe between 75 and 100. I don't know, I'm guessing. I'm guessing. Yeah, fair enough, kind of, yeah. So this Andrew Ferguson, okay, I guess it was a man, but you never know today what it was. You just call it an it. Andrew Ferguson, a case cited in Nevada where this person built Medicaid for nearly $1 billion.
Mm-hmm.
and skin substitute allografts. I'm not sure what that is, an allograft. I guess it's kind of like a plastic surgery or something. I don't even know what it is. She used people in hospice and nursing homes to submit claims. Think about how devious that is. Like you have to be in a space that's totally demonic to use people in nursing homes and in hospice.
Yeah.
To make false claims. Yeah. So she was using human beings. I keep saying she, yeah, because it says she.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why the name. Okay. The government seized. Now, are you ready for this?
Uh-huh.
$865,000 in necklaces.
Mm.
I wonder where she shopped. Certainly not the flea market.
No, it was the street vendors in New York on Canal
In New
Street.
York. Right, right, right. The ones out on the street with the sheets, and a $500,000 Ferrari. Listen, she
Mm-hmm.
had good taste, right? Yeah, she knew where to spend her money. It was
Right.
her dream all her life to have these things. These things. For what? Who was she going to show off to? Obviously, she was stealing the money. It was pretty. Anybody that knew her had to be like, how the hell is she getting all this stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
She should have been. She should have been buying some bananas for a rice. I don't.
I honestly, so
I'm sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. Bad joke. Bad joke. Bad joke.
yeah, yeah. Well, I've seen worse recently, so
Fair enough.
it's
Fair
all
enough.
it's all over the place. So now what Dr. Oz was saying is that they're using new techniques now. Instead of just flagging problems, they're building cases. And by the time law enforcement partners are ready to move, we aim to hand them a file that's already complete, already done. It's kind of like they're ambushing these people, these organizations. They're ready. They're ready with the material. They're not just like interviewing people and talking about it on the news and blah, blah, blah. No, they're getting their cases put together and they're ambushing these people that they've tagged, that they know for sure are involved in this stuff, and they can't get away. They don't have time to know what's coming at them, which is really a beautiful thought when you think about what we've known all these years. It's actually quite exciting if you ask me. So I enjoyed this today, and I hope there's many more to come. This can't just be one thing. This has to be consistent, constant. If this took place in 46 states, it's everywhere. So all of it is everywhere. The Leering centers, the bank fraud, the right.
You know where I want to go though, right? Because
Where? No, I don't.
I want to go back to
Mhm.
to New York a second, right? I want to go
Oh,
back to New
yeah.
York, right? Because you know the upside down thing, right?
Mm.
Well, Representative Dan Goldman. I don't know if you heard what happened to him the other day, yesterday.
No, I didn't.
So,
Tell me.
so Representative Dan Goldman, y'all know he's a Democrat, right? But
Yeah.
he went into um he went into a coffee shop in Brooklyn,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
and he bought he bought a $9 coffee and left a big tip, and
Yeah.
Dan Goldman was like, this I had a great experience here, whatever, right? So the owner refunds his money after he's gone. He refunds his money, right? And then throws a sly remark saying that we don't basically he basically said we don't accept APAC money here.
Oh.
Right now, watch this. The owner of the coffee shop is from Uzbekistan, and he's a Muslim.
Uh-huh.
Talk about upside down world.
Mm-hmm.
And he just officially he just lost his primary to a Mondani backed guy named Lander.
Yep.
Mm.
You know, this is how it's going to start working. This is how everyone is going to see this for what it really is, whether you want to see it or not.
Yep.
Yeah, this is, I was watching I think Hutch had it on last night. It was a video, a short video of this white, blonde-haired young male who apparently had a number of confrontations with Charlie Kirk, and he was arguing with this woman who turned out to be a Jewish woman, and there was a whole group of people around them, and he had clearly been indoctrinated into the Islamic realm.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, okay, who in this room is Christian? So quite a number of people raised their hands.
Right.
And he said, and don't you want everyone to believe in Jesus or Yeshua, whatever? And everybody said yes. And then he said, do you believe in heaven? Yes. Do you want everybody to go to heaven? They said yes. He said, well, then you see, it's all the same. Muslim, Christian, it's all the same. And this Jewish woman looked him in the eye and said, except that none of us want to kill someone because they're not the religion. And I'm telling you, this kid shut the fuck up fast. Because he could not go there.
Yep.
And that's what everybody has to realize. That's the one defining element that the Islamic terrorists want to kill you, or they have to convert you. And if you don't convert, they're going to kill you. And if you do convert, they're going to take your money, they're going to take your home, they're going to take everything you have until they kill you. It's not the same. It's just not the same. And I pray for everybody, every day, to get clarity on this issue, because that's what we're up against. And that's where Lucifer is. He landed lock, stock, and barrel in these communities in our country to fight.
So I'm gonna draw back a little bit, right? You know the history thing for me for this, right?
Go ahead.
So we're talking the year 1095.
Right.
Right? 1095. I don't know if people are familiar with that year, but 1095 in the Byzantine Empire, which was the eastern half, right, of the old Roman Empire, right? And those people there, they were under the severe pressure of the I think it's the Seljuk Turks at that time, right? They were the rising, the rising Muslim power that had taken big parts of the Byzantine Empire in what is modern day Turkey. It was called, I think it was Anatolia back then, right? Anatolia was the name of what's Asia Minor, which is Turkey now, right? And the Byzantine Emperor Alexios, right, sent a request to Western Europe asking for merc soldiers to help him push back the Turks, right? When that happened, now we have to talk about Pope Urban II. Okay, Pope Urban II used Catholicism to unite Western Europe against the common enemy, which would be these Seljuk Turks.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Pope Urban II, asserting political power in the region, right, getting people elected that were on his side, et cetera, right? And then he actually temporarily healed the split. Now, people don't, here's another tangent I have to explain real quick, too, is we have Eastern Orthodoxy, right? And we have Western Catholicism, Protestantism, right? Well, when the schism happened, Eastern Orthodoxy, right, which you'll see in Eastern Europe, you'll see it in Russia. They're all Eastern Orthodox, right, Christians, right? Well, Pope Urban had merged them at that point to unite against the common enemy, which was these Muslims, these Seljuk Turks, right?
Yes.
Now, instead of the warring clans of Europe fighting each other over land, they were fighting, right, to help Emperor Alexios push back the Muslim push from the east, right, at this point in time. Because remember, they had already got what is Persia, right, by 700 AD, right? So now they kept pushing further west and further west. So now we're talking, if I remember correctly, it's called the what was it called? Oh, God, what's it called? The Council of Claremont. Council of Claremont happened in 1095 also, right? Where Pope Urban gave a sermon, right? And not only did he, in that sermon, ask for mercenaries, but he called for a holy war to reclaim Jerusalem from the Muslims, right? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the first crusade. This is where the first crusade started, was in Claremont, France. And by golly, they went to hell. They took these people to hell and back. And guess what's going to end up happening here in the United States?
We're going to take them to hell and back.
Mark my words. These people are going to keep pushing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because this is not a political thing anymore, right? No. And that's why I brought up Mr. Goldman. That's why I brought him up. We might disagree, politically, but see, he is still a Jewish man, and the way he was treated in this regard by people that have came into our country that don't assimilate with us. Right? Don't partake in the culture. No. You get all the smoke, the inferno, and the other inferno that's coming behind that smoke. Because the true people of this nation don't tolerate shit like that. And we don't tolerate it from each other. And I'll be damned if an invader on our land is going to do that to one of our own.
So this war against them is over 3,000 years old.
Yes.
Bottom line, yeah. I can't disagree with any. You're like a walking history book, Rob. You amaze me. Unless you're cheating and using AI, and that's okay too. I think that.
Oh no, AI has nothing on me.
Good.
Nothing.
Good. And I think that's one of the things that the fighters are up against right now, and saying, listen, we see the good in AI, but we've learned from the internet mistakes, and we got to do this the right way. So I think there's a lot of pushback.
I don't trust AI, period. I don't.
don't.
AI is one of those things where it's good to find research points. Right. And then you go to the research it found and you look at it for yourself, because AI will mischaracterize what was in it. Because people have to remember, when you're dealing with AI has no personality and it has no objectivity.
Somebody had to feed the information into it as well, and they will give you false information if they don't know the answer.
Right.
It could be very dangerous.
Yeah. So
dangerous.
It's good to find sources or what have you. Like a lot of the stuff that I write, I can't remember all the sources. So I'll say, AI, I'm looking for this particular case and this time, and what case was before that led to precedent. And I'll say, oh, it's this. And I'll actually go pull the citation and read the citation myself, because I know what I'm looking for and trying to understand.
Exactly. Well, I think people need to recognize, and especially Democrats and people who have been deluded, they have to learn to think for themselves. They have to realize that they've gotten lazy, they've gotten too comfortable, and they don't know how to think anymore. They just want more government. They want people to do it for them. That's the danger. But I think people are going to come around. The common enemy always works, and you were just describing it. 3,000 years ago, we're going to have a similar situation here. Because right now, it looks like we're divided, but I don't believe it. I think the Save America Act has people like looking to the left and the right saying, what is this? Everybody wants the Save America Act. Why are we involved in a ridiculous fight here? They took a really common sense issue that almost everybody wants, and it exposes that we're not as divided as we might have thought, which is a good thing to see. So in terms of problems in the world, what really makes me feel happy in a way, not feel, but experience like gratitude that the people in Ireland, do you think Ireland is going to take this shit much longer?
Oh, look, Ireland is already on it. I've been seeing videos on Instagram, right? And on Telegram, right? Mainly more on Telegram because you can put stuff on there and not get censored. But like literally, I want people to hear me when I say this. The IRA has woken up. The IRA is not fucking around. Like they're literally going into these Muslim villages in Belfast and literally evicting people by the back of their heads, like snatching them out of their houses. Like, no, y'all got to get the fuck up out of here. With this,
and it's going to start. It's going to start in England.
Yep.
And it's just going to spread all over Europe. And when it erupts here, and guys, not to scare anybody, but it has to erupt. It just has to. In order for us to get them out of here, we have to have similar disturbances to get them out of here. But what we have that none of them have is guns. We have the Second Amendment. And the Democrats, as far as I'm concerned, they have lost their party. It's completely gone. I don't know if anybody has seen Kamala Harris on the TV recently. I just see clips in the shows that I watch or pay attention to because they show the clips to show you how retarded some of these people are, what they say, how unbelievably disconnected they are from reality. And there couldn't be a better example than Kamala. So just putting it out there, whoever, is still in her camp and wants to run with her, what they don't realize is her is connected to the CCP and the complete takeover of the United States of America. And the complete takeover of the United States of America is aligned with the digital centers, AI, everything Trump is pushing through right now with the forces that be, because we need an iron dome in the whole country. We need an iron dome. And we need to protect ourselves from the drones and what the Chinese do have, and we can't let them get ahead of us, because if they get ahead of us, we're toast. So we need to stay focused on being supportive of some of the things that initially we feel very emotional about. I mean, I felt very emotional about the digital centers, the noise and the light and the water, and apparently that's all CCP propaganda. I think 75% of what we hear every day is CCP propaganda. They're laughing at us. So they're not going to laugh for long, though. I'm not hopeful about birthright citizenship getting put through the Supreme Court, but I'm hopeful that enough material is coming into the light, and the key is in the light. The key is in the light. Once we focus on the light, we will have the key to open the door and get in to see what we need to see. I don't want to get too woo-woo on everybody, but I'm pretty out there these days. We need to realize that almost all of what we've just been talking about in today's world, not 3,000 years ago, but in today's world, is stolen election. They've stolen the elections in 71 countries. You could look, open your eyes, look at a map, you could pick out all the countries they stole the elections in. Right now, today, in the past, I don't know, 15, 20 years? For sure. Maybe even longer than that. But
Right.
the past few, since Obama, it became really clear that our elections were being heisted and ripped off. And because the elections are being stolen, we've got people working with the CCP and their foot soldiers, which are the Islamic terrorists. They're kind of one and the same. They're all operating in a similar vein in this moment. What will China do to the Islamic terrorists, assuming we got messed with? They'll kill them too. I mean, this is like if you were looking at a horror movie, you would see like this group first killing and eating up this group. Then the group that survives, you would see them killing and eating up the next group. And then you would have the last of the Mohicans sitting there in a boat saying, well, who do we kill now? What do we do now? I really, really, really see what's going to happen now, and it's all positive, except that we need to go through the storm. We have to button up the seatbelts, take our eyeglasses off, because maybe we don't want to see. If your ear hurts you, you might not want to hear. If your eyes hurt you, you may not really want to see. If you're peeing too much, it's who you pissed off at. This is old Louise Hay, that the mind-body connection is all kind of operating at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, because we are. Hey, I heard today, I'm just going to jump through this. I heard today that The View is on the next chopping block. Those wonderful ladies on The View, they're so kind and they're so smart. They're such witches, really. Apparently they had this guy from Texas on, the Democrat, Tellerico. And gee, I can't imagine who would possibly be behind this, Donald Trump. But he's suing them because they're not giving equal time to our people that are running for government. I think they should have Mike Lindell on. I think they should have Royce White on. Oh, I would love to see that.
Royce White would eat them alive.
He would eat them to be nothing left. I'm crazy about him. I don't know if he's going to win because people are scared of him. But they shouldn't be. They should appreciate who he is and that he's going to take care of business. I mean, whatever. It's just the state of infantile thinking, I would say, overall. So, so if we're going to look at these stolen elections and take this shit down, I think we might be able, well, the Fauci stuff just came out, through Tulsi Gabbard. That's good. Yes, he received a pardon from Joe Biden, auto pen. You could see where this is leading. And I mean, yeah, ultimately the Supreme Court is going to have to get in the middle of this, and there's going to be, you could predict who's going to be for what and what's going to work. It's just it's all bullshit. But so I think one of the next things we're really going to look at is how bulletproof are Joe Biden's pardons.
Yeah.
And that will lead us into the election steal. There's a direct connection. If you follow the way things are happening, there's a logical sequence to everything, because we're in the middle of a military operation. So I did take something from American Thinker today, because sometimes these guys write up, oh, this is for Rod. This is good. 2 constitutionally significant questions here. Number 1, did the framers of our Constitution intend that Article 2 pardon authority could bestow total criminal immunity?
No, absolutely not.
Right? So that's like a pretty absolute question. And it fits right in. Now, here's the second question. Is a pardon constitutional without evidence that it represents the will of the president, which a handwritten signature does nicely? Is that, he wrote a handwritten pardon for his son, but everyone else was the auto pen. And I heard that Fauci was like screaming hysterical even the day before to get his pardon.
So
he was lobbying. Yeah.
So I would say this, right? Because pardons, right? And when we talk about these pardons, we got to talk about Hamilton, right? And
yeah.
Hamilton, if I remember correctly, in Federalist 74, I think it's Federalist 74, where he talked about, the pardon power being with a single man and not with the legislature, right? Because
yes.
one individual may plead with the mitigation of the rigor of law, right? Now, at the same time, right now, we have to talk about add the humanity to the mitigation of rigor. In that context, when he wrote that, right, because he acknowledged that justice systems can sometimes be too harsh or unyielding in a lot of regards, right? So the pardon power is supposed to act as a necessary safety valve for humanity, right? To allowing the executive to correct any severe or unjust harms or unequal justice, right, because of the outcomes of the rigid legal structure. Now we've gotten away from that, right? Mm-hmm. And what we've done is we've turned Article 2, Section 2 into political expediency, is what we've done, right? And in that regard, still referring back to Hamilton, right, where he talked about, during times of insurrection and civil unrest, right, a well-timed pardon or amnesty in that regard could induce insurgents to lay down their arms and surrender, right? That's the other part of the pardon power, right? That hasn't been used since the Civil War, right? Now, in the case of Biden, right, in this regard, the former is true, not the latter, right? The political expediency of these pardons. And every president has done that since Reagan, right? Last 2 days of the term, here's 300 pardons and leniency on clemency, right? And letting people out of federal prison on the last 2 days. right? And that's not what. Then that is not what it's for.
Hmm.
Right? That's not what it's for. Right? Because again, I keep going back to Hamilton because he wrote Federalist 74 and he talked about the pardon power, right?
Yeah.
In his thought, he's like the pardon, right, could also, right, avoid gridlock,
Yes.
right? It could thwart political strategy down the line, but it should only be a federal power. It was never even to be a governor's power to have pardon power. That comes later. That's a different discussion, right? Upon that, right? But it should have only been the president handing out pardons, right? Now, and again, I'm just going to confuse people, right? Because the pardon power from the governors, that power came later, but we're not talking about that right now, right? So again, Biden or whoever pretended to be Biden,
Yes.
right? All those pardons were political expediency. Every last, the big ones, the Fauci, the Hunter Biden, all of them. And they're not supposed to be used for political power or preemption. Let me throw that in there. Pardons are not to be used for preemption.
Mm.
How do you know they committed? How do you issue someone a pardon, right, unless you know they have committed the crime?
Oh, well, that was pretty obvious from the
Mhm.
beginning.
Right.
We all looked at that and said, they're all guilty. That's why they got this. But you see, I think that Fauci, in particular, is
Mhm.
going to be a test case for use of the auto pen. I think that this is going to be very interesting because the Supreme Court's going to have to decide if someone who created a humanitarian crisis is above the law.
Right.
Simply because a clerk of the White House pushed the right button. Like, we don't know. Did Hamilton have an auto pen? I mean, I really don't know.
Well, Hamilton was never president.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming the presidents we've all known in our lifetime had access to an auto pen, but when the pardon laws were written, they might not have had an auto pen, but they could have had other people copying somebody's signature. I mean, there have always been ways to copy a signature. But the fact that, first of all, we had a president that the media, fucking media, and I have to always get down to that as well. They covered up a demented old man who couldn't think straight, and to believe that he knew what he was doing, signing these pardons. It's pretty obvious there were many other people involved in utilizing that auto pen. And that's where I think we need to go to a couple of different places here, but if Fauci's on the chopping block right now through what Tulsi Gabbard released, he'd be a great test case, the whole thing. We got to get to the election fraud. We have to. You know, the Brunson case, that was kind of like an interesting first shot at removing the skanks in the Congress and the people that went along with the stolen election, and that they were all illegally put there. They were not elected. It's all about the stolen election. Everywhere we are now, we would not be having Somalians taking over the city of Minnesota.
Right.
We would not be having what's going on in Texas, the H-1B visa mess with people from India who are not doctors, who come here with fake degrees, and we have so much that's happened just because of election thievery. It all comes down to that one pile of shit. So that's where we got to get. Like the election, right? I mean, can you imagine what that would cause in this country? General hysteria. Remember the picture? Yep, remember the picture of the woman screaming when Hillary lost and Trump won? The woman in the green hat or whatever she was wearing? That is what you would see times half the population. Yep. That's exactly what you would see. That was indicative of the greater population moment. I'm living for that exposure. I'm living for it, not only the exposure. We have known for too long what's gone on. This is not, you know, a surprise. One other thing I wanted to tap into tonight with you, Rod, is what's been happening to our friend Gad Saad in Canada. I don't know how many people are aware of this. Yeah, but he is basically being held hostage in, I believe he's in Quebec, but they are hitting him with this exit tax. He wants to leave Canada because of anti-Semitism. And I guess it's mixed with a little bit of communism. And they're going to pull this excise tax on him, which not only involves being taxed on the value of his home and everything that he owns, but any money that he has made outside of Canada, which would be here, all of his speeches, all of his books, you know, everything, all the places he's written, they want his money for that. And he's been doing a lot on X, talking about it. And anybody who's on X, I would beg you to look at his page on X, because it's really mind-blowing that the Canadian government is actually turning Canada, Mark Carney, into a Bank of England. Is this a shock, really?
No, I mean, they're doing the same thing in California. They've been doing it in California for how long?
Yeah.
Right?
Right. Right.
I mean, get to the point where Gavin Newsom sat full-chested, 10 toes down on a television set. We're going to tax them 100% if they get money from that fund because of their false imprisonment from J6. Like, really? Is this what we're doing? Okay, bet.
Yeah.
Bet.
Well, you know what? They're starting their petitions in Canada, Alberta, Manitoba, to secede from the union. And although Carney says, "Oh, you're never going to do that here," they're going to do it.
Mm-hmm. They're going
to do it.
Yep.
And Trump is going to take them in. And before you know it, Canada is going to be part of North America, as it should be, as it was originally intended to be. Mm-hmm. And South America, you know, Colombia just elected a fine guy.
Look, speaking of that, this is interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's happened in South America? Those of you that don't know, right?
Yep.
Chile just elected what we would call a conservative here in the United States, right? Mm-hmm. Now, remind you, this started with the Malay wave of libertarianism.
Yes.
Right? In Argentina, Chile, Colombia, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they said Paraguay. Like, our South American friends.
Venezuela is kind of ours at this point.
Right. But and you know what? You know what else is what else is in the midst of that? Right? Watch this. USAID I thought about this earlier. How much influence was the money from USAID, right? They were giving money to these left wing organizations that was propping up elections, right?
Sure.
Right?
Hmm.
And all of a sudden that money is gone, and now
That's
you're
right.
seeing you're seeing the influence of the right in
Yep.
South America again, right?
Yep.
Like I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about this. I said, "Damn,
Damn.
that was that." I bet you, and I have to go look, but my first assumption
Yeah.
is going to be that these left wing groups down in South America didn't get money from USAID to prop up elections or promote political opponents.
Something.
Mhm.
Something.
Because all of a sudden
Act
this happens out of
blue.
nowhere,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna have to look. That might be my next research paper when I'm up to it to see if there is. It has to be a connection because that's the only thing that has changed globally, right? Now watch. We're gonna watch Europe.
This is real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is real. This is a real worldwide revolution that
Yeah.
we are watching. What an amazing time to be alive.
Mm-hmm. Exactly right.
All good.
We're running up on time.
Okay.
We're up against the wall. I appreciate everybody coming through and all that good stuff. Rod is kind of dealing with some health issues with his ears, things of that nature. But we're gonna suffer through that. We got through tonight, but it is what it is. It is what it is. We have to do what we have to do. In this regard. So I again appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all's patience through all the pains we've been through with being banned and all kinds of stuff, and it's just frustrating. It's very, very, very frustrating, But Miss Val, thank you as always. I want to thank everybody.
You're welcome.
In the chat and those of y'all on the airways listen. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And remember, love your neighbors, love your family, but ultimately, love yourself.